What is going on, everybody? Your boy Patman here, back again with another video. This one's going to be a little bit different today. We're not going to be talking about news. It's going to be more of a discussion video on where exactly are all the features in Halo Infinite that a lot of people, including myself, thought would be coming to the game, especially after all the experiments that 343 did with Halo MCC. And I'm not going to be talking about the obvious stuff in this video, things like choosing your Spartan color, firefight, Forge not being there at launch, as well as campaign co-op, custom games browsers, the lack of playlists. Obviously, the list goes on and on with some of the frustrations that we have with the launch of Halo Infinite. And this isn't a bashing party for Halo Infinite. I actually do really enjoy the game. It has a ton of issues, don't get me wrong. There has never been a perfect Halo, but I found enjoyment in every single Halo title to date. This is no exception. However, some of these things are very head-scratching in my opinion on why they're missing from Halo Infinite. But I also want to know what all of you think, so make sure you head down into the comments section below. Let me know what kind of features that were in MCC in case I forgot something that you thought were really cool and that would make it into Halo Infinite. Or if you want to further discuss any topics I bring up in the video, feel free to go on ahead and talk about that as well. Try to answer every single comment in my comment section. Make sure you guys like the video to support future videos like this where we just do discussion topics. I would like to start getting into those more now that the game's been out for a little bit and we can start to formulate our own opinions. If you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. I do mainly Halo news, so if you want to stay absolutely up to date on all the latest happenings in the world of Halo Infinite, any kind of new updates from the developers themselves, then go on ahead, click that subscribe button. Now, the first thing I want to bring up is the Halo Infinite challenge system. Obviously, something that's been hotly debated since launch and been changed and tweaked several times already, with a bunch more changes to come. However, MCC, in my opinion, just does the challenge system a whole lot better. No, it isn't perfect, still has flaws. For example, the campaign challenges being extremely redundant in MCC. It got really boring doing these same missions over and over because those were the optimized missions to get the challenges done as quickly as possible. I do prefer the way other games do challenges. For example, Call of Duty, I like the way they do their challenges, especially with guns, getting a certain amount of kills with guns, headshots, etc. to get camos for your guns. However, Halo's always handled things a little bit differently when it comes to challenges. The things that I'm talking about that Call of Duty does as far as their challenges are more in line with what commendations have been in the series past for Halo, something that Halo Infinite is sorely missing, and I do hope to see commendations return to the franchise in Halo Infinite in the future with some really cool rewards for completion of those commendations to make them worthwhile. But simple quality of life features that were in MCC for the challenge system are just missing in Halo Infinite. Whether that be the ability to pin challenges to the main menu so that you don't have to go through menus to look at the challenges that you care most about, or how about the ability to pause the game no matter what kind of game mode you are in MCC to go on ahead and take a look at what kind of progress you are making on your challenges. And while I am grateful for Halo Infinite's implementation of the weekly ultimate challenge to give us a cool cosmetic reward, let's be real, those rewards have been pretty underwhelming besides a select few so far in Halo Infinite's life cycle. Now, there are changes coming to this. This is confirmed by Jerry Hook, the head of design at 343 Industries. I would like to see the weekly ultimate reward include a cosmetic item that is definitely worth the invested time, as well as maybe 100 or 200 credits every time you complete the weekly ultimate to go on ahead and be able to use those credits in the store. Something else that Halo Infinite took from MCC was ranked rewards. Now, I do think MCC did this better as well. The rewards were just more rewarding in my opinion. Some really cool camos to be had as far as getting to certain ranks in MCC. Now, if you get to Onyx and Halo Infinite, you do get a weapon charm and a emblem to go on ahead and put on your gun and on your vehicles. However, I feel that a weapon camo, or coating as they'll call it in Halo Infinite, is just a much better reward because in a first-person shooter, the most important piece of customization on your screen all the time is going to be your weapon. And something that I think would be a really cool option to differentiate ranked rewards from just normal rewards would be a animated weapon coating for reaching a certain rank in Halo Infinite every season. In my opinion, Halo's always lagged behind its competition as far as customization options and the evolution of those options. We didn't get weapon camos in Halo until Halo 4 when other games were doing it for years beforehand, and things like animated camos have been around since Gears of War 3, or at least that's one of the first games I remember having animated weapon camos, and that was back on the 360. I think it's long overdue that Halo gets something cool like that. And while we're on the topic of weapon camos or coatings, where the hell are all the Covenant or alien weapon coatings in Halo Infinite? None of the Covenant vehicles or weapons have any kind of coding customization in Infinite. It's all just UNSC stuff, which is a real shame after MCC introduced things like energy sword customization. You could also add tech suit customization and animated visors to that list as well, something I was really shocked to see Halo Infinite not have after MCC had them. MCC introduced animated nameplates, and that is also something we just don't have in Halo Infinite, which brings us to our next topic, the emblem customization. Preset emblems without being able to choose the backgrounds, not being able to choose the colors is definitely a step back, and Halo Infinite could have taken advantage of animated nameplates in the game as a reward for doing really cool things like completing legendary campaign or even lasso. There are no cool rewards for difficult tasks in the game, and I really think Halo needs to get back to that. Another small feature that I personally really liked from MCC was the ability to have a clan tag above your name, and this provided more characters to be used instead of just your service tag that appears above your Spartan in multiplayer. And with that clan tag option as a content creator, it was nice to be able to plug my content creation. I could put youtube.com/ and then my gamer tag is the Patman Gaming. Well, that's where you could find my content, or I could say YouTube and Twitch, or I'm live now on Twitch. It was a cool way to be able to plug something, or if you just wanted people to be aware of a movement that's going on in the world that you're behind, you could go on ahead and plug that as well. I thought that was a nice little layer of customization that I would love to see return in some form. Another feature from MCC that did not make its way into Halo Infinite is the ability to see how you unlocked an item. Now, Halo Infinite does have a cool little thing that shows the date you unlocked an item, however, it doesn't tell you how you unlocked it. I think that would be a nice little quality of life improvement. Now, MCC had a free battle pass that never expired, and we do know Halo Infinite's battle passes will never expire. And something nice from MCC's battle pass was that you could choose which items per page you wanted to unlock. So the battle passes were split into pages, and before you moved on to the next page, you had to unlock all the items on the current page that you are on. So you would get freedom in how you spent your tokens, which you would get from either ranking up in your first 100 ranks in the social rank in MCC, something Halo Infinite of course doesn't have, or by doing your challenges you would get these tokens. Now say you're on level 1 of the battle pass and the final tier on that page of the battle pass was tier 10, and you really like the tier 10 reward better than the first reward that you get at tier 1. You could go on ahead and unlock the tier 10 reward first, but in order to move on to tier 11 through 20 or the next page, you had to unlock everything on your current page. But still, there was some freedom in how you unlock stuff. I think that's really cool. Now, of course, Halo Infinite doesn't have the token system, so it would have to be implemented in a different way, but I'm sure they could have came up with something there, and I think that was a better system. A dedicated stats page in-game was awesome to have in MCC. A lot of games have those nowadays. For some reason, that is missing in Halo Infinite. The only kind of stats you can see for a player in-game is basically how many games they've played and what kind of difficulty they've completed the campaign on. Speaking of stats pages and such, the UI in Infinite, in my opinion, is a big step down from MCC. The horizontal tiles in MCC were very nice and clean, easy to navigate, especially in the customization menu. You knew exactly what you were customizing when you clicked on something, and in Halo Infinite, it's very confusing. If you're just looking at the pictures at the bottom of the screen, you'll see something like the helmet 2 times in a row. Well, one's for the helmet customization and one is for the visor. It's just very clunky in my opinion, with a lot of unnecessary scrolling. Once you go into the options of what kind of cosmetics you have, it should go into a vertical format instead of horizontal, because with how big Halo Infinite's gonna get over time with it being a live service game, I think that's gonna need to be changed because people aren't gonna wanna endlessly scroll to the right trying to find a certain item. Another thing that MCC had, and for some reason Halo Infinite does not, is a server selection menu. To go on ahead and be able to choose the servers that you want to be able to connect to was a huge feature. It would alleviate a lot of issues in Halo Infinite as far as high ping games. And obviously they just had an update which tried to fix the high ping issues, but that could have been easily avoided by implementing something that was already in MCC. Another option that was in MCC in the very same menu as server selection was 2 separate toggle switches for input-based matchmaking and platform-based matchmaking. And in Halo Infinite, all we have is an open crossplay playlist and a solo duo playlist split up between mouse and keyboard and controller players. It would be nice to have the option to not face PC players because there is a huge cheating problem in Halo Infinite. Another thing Halo MCC had, red reticle range on PC as well as an anti-cheat. And to mention a couple of campaign things, leaderboards and campaign scoring are MIA in Halo Infinite. Now, there are no replayable missions either, and you can't even choose the skulls you want after you unlock them before starting the campaign. You have to wait until you start a new game to choose the skulls, which is a really weird decision if you ask me. Another great thing that MCC introduced was having weapon and vehicle camos available to be used in campaign. I think that would be really cool for Infinite to eventually implement, and I think that will be coming down the road. Now, of course, we have to keep in mind that Halo Infinite is a free-to-play game, and there are a lot smarter people than me out there making those decisions on what kind of models to use for a free-to-play game versus something like MCC that wasn't a free-to-play game. However, MCC was the platform for all the previous Halo titles. Well, Halo Infinite is the platform for the future of Halo, the next 10 years of Halo. So they are similar in that way, and I would love to see how Halo Infinite turns out down the road. Obviously, we are a long ways out. This game is content deprived, but I do think we'll get there eventually. It's just gonna be a matter of how quickly can we get there before the population dwindles to nothing. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Click that like button if you did, and I hope to catch you on either a previous video of mine or a future video of mine. Till that time comes, I'm your boy Patman, and I'm out.